entrepreneurs, and we're here for another one of our business spotlights. And I am so tickled that we have Robin Nelson here with us today. She is a hoot. We'll just say that she's a hoot. A lot of fun, and you're not going to have anybody more fun than Robin. She is definitely the essence of it, and she is also our friend from down under. She's an Aussie, but she's been here for 20 years here in the States. And I tell you what, I don't know anybody that works harder than Robin at helping nurture other people's connections and friendships and relationships, business and personal. And so I'm real excited for Robin to be able to share who she is and everything here in just a second. Why are we doing these business spotlights? Well, a few years ago, I dealt with COVID before. In 2019, I got COVID in December before it had a name. Had long haulers all of 2020. Had COVID again the end of 2020. Then I had a COVID stroke, left me completely useless left side, had to retrain to walk, talk, and function again. Got back up, got running again, got going, held a women's conference, had a lot of fun last year. Robin was part of that with me in Lemon Vision ICT. And then a month later, I found out I had cancer. Had my cancer surgery in September, and here I am today, still running, keep moving forward. So I'm real excited to highlight other business women because life's too short, and it's not just your ordinary networking. I want to be able to bring all of our members online and say, hey, tell us about yourself and why you do what you do. Why do you get up every single morning with enthusiasm and the perseverance that you have? So Robin, if you would come on, tell us who you are and what is it that gets you out of bed every single morning?
Well, thank you for this opportunity, Vicki. I love being here. Thank you so much. So, Robin Nelson, born and bred, proud Australian. I've lived in Winfield, Kansas, for the last 20 years. I am president of Trade Bank of Wichita, president also of Trade Bank of Nashville. And yes, that does keep me busy. And I also have my own business, and that is with Legal Shield. The benefit to that, as well as what I do in the community, is that I get to help people in all sorts of ways.
Absolutely. And so if you could explain a little bit, what is Trade Bank for those who don't know?
Absolutely. So as an Aussie in Kansas, it is the worst job for me to have because it is a managed barter system. And I'm not saying butter that is made with milk and cream, it's barter. So like trade. So, it's like when we used to, as kids, swap our sandwiches. That I didn't like my sandwich, but I like your sandwich, Vicki, and we would trade. It's kind of like that, but instead of having to do direct trades, we get a virtual currency, so we can trade with anyone in the entire network.
Perfectly said. And sandwiches were something everybody traded. Absolutely. That's a very good analogy. And so Legal Shield, tell us what that means, personally and professionally.
Absolutely. So Legal Shield gives equal access to lawyers for justice to everybody. So what that sounds a little funky, right? So especially as a non-American, but we know that, one of the rights given to us in the Bill of Rights is equal justice. But that's not truly a fact of life for a lot of people because, let's face it, lawyers are well educated, therefore they get well paid. Or out of the realm of a lot of people, ordinary people. It's like, call a lawyer for a question? I don't think so. It's going to cost me hundreds. With Legal Shield, you pay $29.95 a month. It is a subscription. And that gives you access to a lawyer 24/7 if it's an emergency. Otherwise, of course, 9 to 5. And I love the fact that when I had some questions when my late sister-in-law passed away, I could tap the app, say, I need to talk with a lawyer. Within a couple of hours, I was talking to that lawyer for 30 minutes. It didn't cost me anything. He answered all my questions, and when I wasn't sure of what he was saying to me, I could go to more questions because there was no time limit. Absolutely amazing service. I love being able to help people provide that for themselves and their families.
Yes, that's wonderful. And that's very affordable, $29.95 a month. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And so you also, with the business model that is, you're also able to help other people like you are, correct?
Yes, correct. So, times are a little tight for most of us. So if we're looking for another income stream, this is perfect. And again, it gets you helping people. Yeah, I just love being able to help people, and this lets me help people not only perhaps as a business, as an associate, but also just help protect people so that they too can pick up that app and say, "Hey, I need to talk to my lawyer."
That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. So I think that's pretty exciting. That's one of my favorite business models is the direct sales and the multi-levels, because you can work a actual business around a schedule that's a full-time job, your daytime job, and build a legacy for yourself and a future long-term investment of your time into a full-time business.
Absolutely. So my Legal Shield business is exactly that, Vicki. It's going to be my legacy, and it's for me.
Yes.
It's to help me with my future. So
yeah, your
I don't
efforts
want to work
benefiting
for
you.
Trade Bank when I'm 90 years old.
No.
But I'd happily still be working, I think, with Legal Shield, because it's different being able to
I
work
love
from
the
home.
model. I really do. I love it because when your current schedule is inundated and you have to scale back a little bit, your business will allow you to do that. And then when you have more time, it has the flexibility that you can scale up. So you can leverage your time and monetize all of that together.
Absolutely. And also, one of the things, I've done extra training so that I can actually go and talk to businesses and their employees and offer it as a voluntary employee benefit. So I can't say there's no cost to the company, because everybody's time costs something, but there's no direct monetary cost to that company unless they want there to be, So
Nice.
it's great to help.
Definitely. Then let's make sure everybody knows about that later.
Yeah.
Because that way, if they are, a lot of people who watch this are business owners, and you may be able to provide them a good service with that. Many of them do have employees, and they're not all just solopreneurs or anything like that. So that'd be good. People, that way you guys pay attention to that and catch up with her on this link that's scrolling around on the bottom of our screen, the ticker. So I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
As a child, how did you see yourself living as an adult?
As a child, as in early teens, my plan, because of course as a teenager we already have our lives planned out, right? My plan was I was going to be an industrial chemist, and I was going to earn big bucks working in some kind of laboratory, creating who knows what, but that's what I was going to do with my life. That is not.
So how's that working out for you? Well, well, it looks like you're having a pretty good time. So maybe you weren't supposed to be in the laboratory.
I think so. Yeah. So
even, and I know that this is.
Student, oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Even as an exchange student, when I was in Iowa, which is how I come to now be living in Kansas, as an exchange student, I even took the steps and sat in on how to get like a scholarship for an industrial chemist at one of the universities in Iowa. And, I couldn't accept the scholarship, but I did at least participate in the process. And supposedly I was offered a scholarship, which I couldn't take. But yeah, like I said, as a teenager, that's where I was going to be.
You were offered, you just couldn't accept it. So yeah, you earned it. You definitely did. Good job. Good job. So, and I know this is a question that, many people have explored, but if you could have a conversation with yourself now, to yourself as a young adult, what would that conversation sound like?
First and foremost, life is short, so make sure that you let those you love know that you love them. I was widowed at 21, so I definitely learned in that heartbeat of being told that I was widowed, just how important that is. And I try to impress that upon people that I meet throughout life. Other than that, life is such a journey, and even though things don't necessarily work out how we would like them to, there's lessons to be learned from each and every experience, and try not to get bogged down in the stuff that's not quite working out how you want it to be.
That would be great advice to yourself as a young person. That would be wonderful to know, wouldn't it? That way you'd feel
Good.
so much more relieved about, don't take yourself too serious.
Exactly.
So, what would you like to tell your future self now? If you could talk to your future self, what would that conversation sound like?
Oh my goodness, Vicky. So my future self, number one, woohoo, what a ride. I have been so blessed with so many experiences, and spend a little more time. I'm glad I spent what time I have with my horses. I need to spend more time with my horses, um, and wear long sleeves with my horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, I'm good enough, and I am worthy of all the successes that I have.
Absolutely. You've earned every single one of them. And for anybody who hasn't spent time with Robin, I encourage you to do so. And so, how can they reach you? If you feel free to give, if you feel comfortable enough to give a phone number, or if you wanted to find you on
Absolutely.
Facebook, how can somebody contact you?
So, about the first 10 years that I lived in Kansas, I worked with the Walnut Valley Association. And my joke is always that most of the state of Kansas and beyond has my number. But so I'm always willing to share it. It is 620 222 4247. If I don't answer, I'm probably on another phone call, and leave me a message if you want me to get back with you.
So, would you be willing, if somebody had any questions on how to get started in maybe in a direct sales business, if even if Legal Shield wasn't their cup of tea, would you be able to help guide them? Would you be willing to help them find their way?
Oh, most definitely. And so the biggest money earner in Legal Shield, gentleman by the name of Brian Carruthers, he is very generous with his knowledge and his encouragement. I've got some great books of his that I'm willing to lend or share, or just tell people about, because whilst MLMs seem to get a bad rap, and I'm sure there are some out there that are not perhaps honorable, Legal Shield truly is. And if you do your due diligence and look into the one that you're wanting to expand into, and are prepared to work the business, because let's face it, there's no magic apple to pick off that money tree that's going to give you whatever you're looking for as far as financial freedom. If you're prepared to work it, I'm happy to share any knowledge and resources that I have that will help you along your way, and always willing to have a conversation and say, hey, people are down on MLMs sometimes, but there's an awful lot of very good businesses. And these days, life has changed so much since COVID. And I know you agree on that, Vicki, that MLMs, multi-level network marketing businesses, whatever you want to call it, I really think is kind of the way of the future. It's not going to replace bricks and mortar, and it's not going to replace services, say, like Trade Bank. Not at all. But my goodness, what an opportunity for people to help build their own future and their legacy.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And that's exactly why I love helping other people find what it is that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm driven by that. God wasn't finished with me. That's why I'm still here after all this stuff since 2019. And I have hit the ground running, and I'm trying to express to everybody how important it is to have those extra streams of income.
Absolutely.
I think I can't remember whether it was Zig Ziglar or Canfield, or can't remember who it was, but they said you have to, 7 streams of income is kind of an average amount for every millionaire. And a million isn't what it used to be, but who wouldn't like to have it?
And money doesn't solve all problems, but it can, if you're smart with it, it will help you navigate through those problems perhaps a little easier.
Right. It softens the blow. Absolutely. So I tell you what, if you've liked any of this, as far as our interview and our conversations that we're having with these business spotlights, or if you're a business owner, a women business owner, please, find the ticker here on the bottom. It says join now, the Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs.com. You will find Robin's membership profile there. She's right there on the front and the center under Robin Nelson, Nelson. And her Robin is spelled Robyn. So find her on the chamberofwomenentrepreneurs.com. We're also on Facebook under the same name, and we have Facebook groups for you to join and share your business with. And if you want to be featured as one of our business spotlights, by all means, reach out to us either via the online chat on the .com or catch me in a message on my Facebook page or in our groups. Jump up, and there is no cost whatsoever to be in this business spotlight. Did I ask you for money, Robin?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. It's women helping women. What a problem. And it's Women's History Month, so let's make history.
Absolutely. And my mom
Thanks,
was
Robin.
always full of helping not only women, but mainly women.
People.
So yeah, people.
Yeah, I like helping people, but I did segment into this particular group to focus on helping women entrepreneurs because I think it's hard for women to try to grow because they don't have the same type of support system that the men do. It's different.
And we take things more personally, I think.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we think differently. And so
Absolutely. Thank heaven.
did I just an understatement?
Yes.
So, Robin, thanks for joining us. If you had a good time, make sure you vote for Robin at the end of this month and like her video so we can come back and learn more about why she came to America and where she's going in the future. Robin, how can we help you today, tomorrow, and beyond? Tell us how we can help you.
Sure. So, if you're a business owner around the Wichita, Kansas area or Nashville, Tennessee, I'd love to have a conversation with you to see if perhaps Trade Bank would be a benefit to you and therefore to our members. Anywhere in the United States and Canada, if you're interested in knowing more about Legal Shield, either as a business or as just like I said, equal opportunity to justice by having that membership, please feel free to reach out to me. There are some states that I am not licensed to sell the memberships and stuff, but I have colleagues around the country. So if you're in a state where I can't help you directly, I will certainly put you in touch with somebody who can.
That I don't doubt. You're always very willing to help other people. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's say goodbye so we don't give everybody a snooze fest here. So you've been so much fun. Thanks, Robin. I so appreciate you. Thanks for being a friend.
Thank you so much, Vicki. Appreciate you too. Bye.